evening, serpents and spiders, and welcome to another goosebump-inducing episode of Blood from a Stone, a tale of love and dread in RPG. My name is Philip, and I am the Dread Master, and with me are some of our players. Say good evening, players.
Good evening, players.
Why were you pulling faces when I was saying serpents and spiders and goosebump inducing?
Because I thought you said something else aside from goosebump. I thought you were going to say goosebumpy, which sounds gross too. But also I don't want to be a serpent or a spider, but if I have to choose, I will be a serpent. Please.
Anybody know why I said? I'm trying to be a little more considered with my openings. I mean, I do spirits and specters, I do boils and ghouls if I want to go crypt keeper, but does anybody know serpents and spiders? Don't worry.
From a court of
From
bugs
the animal
and
kingdom.
roaches.
A court of bugs and roaches? That sounds like a fantasy series I don't care for.
Well, me either.
No. Well, it's so good to see you. We may have more players tonight. But not many more. We might have one other player, but there are some internet connectivity issues. So if we can get them here, that'll be great. But if not, we shall soldier on with who we have. There's an interesting dynamic here, though, because now we'd probably just be focusing on the Medina side of things. If where Elutella is, maybe that's a thing we would come back to at another point. So, shall we simply just get into it? Because you know what? It's been a long week. You know what they were doing at my home this whole week? Roofing.
Banging on it.
It smelled of asphalt. There was actually a really, really cool thing where there was this like conveyor belt, like this massive like conveyor belt arm that was putting all the stuff up on the roof. It was pretty cool. But loud. So anyway,
Did you ask if you could write it?
I didn't.
Because I would have.
The roofer guys seemed very stressed all week. They were always very nice, like when I'd like let them, as I often would like go let the open the garage door. They were very nice, but they just always seemed like, I don't know if our building's really bad or something, but it seemed like this was like this didn't seem like intermediate roofing.
Is this going to fix your leaky window?
My windows were already replaced, but the guys who replaced the windows said, these windows are perfect. Nothing was wrong with your window. So I think this will fix the leak, yes.
Nice.
Oh, that's
my guess is it was a little of both. It was both that the windows were imperfectly situated and that rain was coming down from the imperfect roof. So, what a cool story to open this. This has been fascinating for all of you to hear about. The point being, I'm tired. Others are tired, so let's just go ahead and get into it rather than spend like 3 minutes about me talking about my roof.
Too late.
I'd rather hear about
Clock
the roof of your
sits
mouth.
at the stroke of 13. We have just ended 2 consecutive dreadstorms. And the students, we ended in a pretty rough spot last time. Of the 2 Ducat Bruder, die Bruder Ducat, Friedrich ist tot. Und Felix ist ganz krank. So basically...
I almost said adios.
Go ahead. Did you know that in Austria, one of the greetings is Grüß Gott, which just means good God? That's like what you say. It's like, anyway. Yes, last week, as the students fled from the Dreadstorm after what was just supposed to be a casual little trip into town, Friedrich was slain by Mr. Unzipper, an alien serial killer. Felix was grievously wounded by him, but managed to hold on a little bit and had a little bit of life left to sort of put up to resisting, at which point they were rescued by the voluptuous bikini team dancer who had been Friedrich's sort of character, whom he'd summoned from the books in Holdfast Hall. Our dear Sophie Pellicule was separated from the others as they fled. And she found someone named Elutella, another alien, a mothwoman of Rochera 6. Also, Mr. Unzipper killed another previous alien character, Elikie, who was once a friend or a comrade. How would Elikie describe his relationship with Elutella? A comrade in arms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were warriors together.
So Elutella is with Sophie Pellicule. They avoided various things. Oh, also Friedrich before. I would take that back. Felix, when separated from Friedrich, encountered a woman. She looked like a teenage girl, but she was in fact something else. Her name was first Stacy, then Stremzaz. She kissed him. She offered him a way of dying that he could continue serving her and not be alone. He chose to run. He did find his brother, but then his brother met a grisly end. And he is not in good shape, though he is with the voluptua bikini team dancer. And then we go to our dear sweet Medina Lake, who made it back. She decided to leave the others to their fates. She and Wednesday went back to the gates of Darkmoor College. When she was told she needed to present her student ID, she, realizing she'd already confirmed all she had was her Oakshire ID, she then told Medina to kill the porter. Told Wednesday to kill the porter. And Wednesday said, what?
Go.
Wednesday was like, I don't know what you're talking about. She then took Wednesday's cleaver and attacked the porter, injuring the porter and getting herself a visit from Mr. Portcullis, or Mr. Portqueolis. She was pinned down by sort of the spiked gate that can go down in this kind of medieval passageway. And she has 2 conditions, and she's in very bad shape. And Wednesday just kind of looked down at her like, oh, like, what a weird thing you just did. Guys, little confession. I really like Wednesday. Okay. So the point being, we leave our group. Also, it should be mentioned that Sophie is at 1 power. Elutella has a good bit more power as she's just entered this sort of area, but she's not at full, and both she and Sophie sort of ended their moment with something lurking behind them coming out of the mist that began to dissipate. That's where we ended them on a cliffhanger. Medina has 2 conditions. Felix has no Aina, and that means they cannot even regain power over time until those conditions are cleared and they've received medical treatment. So, with all that in mind, and I apologize, it is a bit of a longer one, I am now going to share tonight's invocation. The view downward was dizzying, and I soon withdrew to a less daring position. Dr. Bors spat out a mild oath before announcing that he feared frostbite. The other men shifted with nervous disorientation behind him. As the snows grew thicker, it became difficult to determine which dark figure, visage shadowed under the thick fur of their coat hood and the downward bends of their bodies against the cold, belonged to which man. And then I had a sensation that proceeded to instill in me a woozing, nauseous fear, a thought squirming into my mind unbidden like that phantom thing in the rocks below. A thought I shudder even to record now in this journal. That in truth, there was no difference between any of us, sad, lost men on this peak. Each of us, a mere insignificant speck of wanting meat when compared to the malevolent energy that sublimated from this inhospitable mount. And each of us would die as well as any other.
Dark. Moore College.
That is the name of the school. Did you get? There was one clue in that about what was going on.
There's something in the rocks.
Okay, so if Medina and Felix, would you both please roll a D13, my dears?
Damn you.
Oh boy.
Because we want to kick it off all right tonight. Time to do some fun. 11.
2.
11. All right. Then, with some good luck, Felix, the voluptuous bikini team dancer, puts her coconut oil scented hands. Oh wait, we have another showing up. How wonderful. She puts her coconut oil scented hands on your arm and begins guiding you across this forest, heading back to school.
But Friedrich, we can't leave. We can't leave him. We have to bring him with us. He's...
Listen, as much as I want to do like a really cool like funeral procession dance, you know, just kind of like I can do the hearse, I can do the lower, I can do the casket lower. It's a fun thing. I think it's like you're probably gonna like die if we don't like because of how like you see how like that skin's hanging off of you there. And she's gesturing to how you've been partially, you know, like your skin was peeled back by Mr. Unzipper.
If Friedrich is dead, I don't want to live either.
Oh, okay. Well, you can hate to watch me go, but I know you'll love watching me leave. And she will proceed on. If you want to go with her, you can, but she is doing an exaggerated strut, like in tempo to the music that emanates from her. It's like the ZZ Top song, like, or is it her? Is that ZZ Top or is it Bob Seger? Is her strut? The point is that's the song that starts. It's Bob Seger. It's they love to watch her strut. They do respect her butt. They love to watch her strut. See, there's like an enjammed line that makes it say they're saying they respect her butt, but they mean comma butt. Point being, Felix, if you want to, you can just stay here with your brother in the woods, and you will probably, you know, perish just from exposure ere long. Or you can FTB. Follow that booty. It is like a beacon. It is like a buns of steel, perfectly shot, despite it not being voluptua. That's just what she's bringing to the table.
Felix tries to just bring his brother with him.
Very well.
Whatever remains.
Felix, I don't believe this is your strong suit, but you may certainly give it a try. Actually, you're not. Oh, your physicality is. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong character. Yeah, that's more like it. Felix, please give me. I think it would just be a physicality. It would be lift or manual labor either way. It's just 2D.
Let's get a match, baby.
Just get a match. And in fact, I'll even do better than that. There is one number, so either get a match or roll at least one of a certain number. There's one number that I would say.
7 and an 8.
Well, you were looking for a 6 because it's about space. I am sorry. Based on those, your body is in agony as you try to pull your brother. You lack the strength. And she is taking her sweet time because she's kind of doing some side shimmies here or there. As you hear that kind of like that Rust Belt rock emanating from her as she dances.
He takes off one of his shoes. He takes off both of his shoes to bring with him.
He takes Friedrich's shoes.
Because he can wear them.
You are the same size. Wonderful.
We are twins.
All right, and then you follow.
Begrudgingly.
Well,
Longingly to my
because
brother.
you rolled an 11, my friend, your following is not impeded by the things that often stalk the woods of no return. The dread storm, though it has cost you everything, may provide one strange, ironic mercy in the end, because some of the darker things in these woods have been scared into hiding by the new mists and fears that are now receding. So it is a clear path back, and eventually you and the voluptuous bikini team dancer, she has slowed, and she is supporting you in like a very sexy way. And I don't mean that in a way where it's like the most supportive thing somebody can do for you is like, or the most sexy thing someone could do is be supportive. I mean that she is like physically supporting you, but like using her hips in weird angles. So you do make it back to that path that you guys went down. The rain is kind of only drizzling now. You're emerging almost exactly where you found that girl Polly as you began coming down this, and you can see the gate of Darkmoor College up ahead. Although, Felix, you see there are several people gathered there. It is, there seems to be some goings on.
Being that that's the safest place, Felix approaches.
Wonderful. As you make it back to Darkmoor. Hello, Liv. It is wonderful to see you. We are glad.
I've been having some mechanical difficulties. So
Oh dear.
If my light falls again, I apologize.
I did see, as soon as you logged on, I did see like it looked pretty high
Yeah.
effects.
Small.
So could you do me a favor? And
Yes.
could you roll your D13? Let's just see how luck is doing for Miss Sophie Pellicule.
Do we? 1.
Okay.
That's not good. Bye-bye, Sophie.
Okay, a 1. Understood. So perfect. Great. Medina.
Great. Nothing bad ever happened with a 1.
Not really, no. Medina.
1's the best number.
Medina
Yes.
rolled a 2, so things are not great
Yeah.
for her either. Medina, my friend, you are on the edge of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First of all, I'd like for you to make, under your vitality, a resist injury.
Oh boy. And it's got to be a match on this. Nope, a 6 and a 2.
Understood. So yeah, Medina, you're basically out. You are out like a light. A light that is off. You're not out like a light that's on, because that would be on. I mean, yeah.
Right.
But you feel tremendous pain. And though the timeline might be getting a bit confused here, you awaken on on what you think is like some kind of like hospital bed of some kind. You hear some like beeping in the distance, or and you feel like you're on very like stiff sheets of some kind. You still feel like you're in tremendous pain, and you don't feel like you've received any pain medication. So you're in agony. But you can feel that you are in some sort of medical space. And you hear Wednesday's voice saying, "Pardon, sir, I think she's stirring, sir." And then you hear a few sort of footsteps. And Professor Charles looks down at you and says, "Oh, Miss Lake, it appears you became violent with one of the porters. That is very much against the rules here at Darkmoor."
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on that are against the rules of just about everything known to man here, so might as well just join the party, huh?
Well, I don't know that that's a particularly productive attitude from someone I was hoping would be a worthwhile scholar of ours. However, it is an oversight, I suppose, on our part that we did not yet get you a student ID, although I think the registrar was waiting, but we cannot find any sort of, we've contacted through various complex means Oakshire University. This is not an easy task, Miss Lake. But they seem to have no record of you there.
Of course. Of course they don't. Why would they? Nothing is real, right? None of this.
I assure you it's very real. Do you need a lesson in reality, Miss Lake?
What do you mean, a lesson in reality? What?
He sticks his finger into your injury.
I scream, but I'm not going to.
Yeah,
Because
you don't have
I
to scream because
blow
it
out my
will
mic.
destroy your thing and break a window in your home. But yes, you scream in agony as he sort of pulls his finger up and your blood is on it, and he pulls out a handkerchief and just begins to wipe it off in a very precise fashion. Says, Miss Lake, you came here under false pretenses. You do not appear to be a student at Oakshire University, which is the reason you were accepted into this program.
I was a student at Oakshire.
Do you have any proof of this? Because...
Is my wallet still with me?
Sure.
I will show my student ID.
Okay.
It's not like I could just pull that out of my ass randomly.
You pull out your student ID in Medina, though you are in tremendous pain. You are in absolute agony, and your eyes are watering. Your ID does not look how it did when you last glanced at it coming out of here.
How does it look?
It appears that you are a student at Miskatonic, not Oakshire.
Is the picture of me, or is it somebody I don't recognize?
It's you.
Okay. What's the name on it? Is it my name?
Your name.
Is Medina familiar with this university?
Yeah, it's just a different school. You probably never even applied because you did this place early decision, but yeah.
Okay. Well, just another weird coincidence or a weird thing to add onto the pile. If you'll recall, Professor, I don't know if we spoke before I woke up in the library. I don't know how I ended up here.
Well, you may be facing disciplinary action for what you've done, but I've come to understand that many of our unique characters and the students who could access them inadvertently left campus, so we may need all the students with your gifts that we can keep for the time being. Miss Line, he sort of turns away and says, yes, sir. I know that you are a miracle compared to lowly figures such as ourselves, but if you could help me by keeping an eye on Miss Lake, I would greatly appreciate it, and so would the provost, Wednesday says. Oh, yes, sir. I've been keeping an eye on her, all right. I wouldn't want her to come to the wrong end. Sir. He nods and leaves.
Is it still on me?
Yeah, you can say one more thing if you'd like to, or you can just collapse in agony and pain.
I'll say, well, I guess I should thank you, Wednesday,
Thank me for what,
for
miss?
getting me out of that.
Getting you out of what, miss?
From under the gate here?
Oh, I did not get you out from under the gate, miss. The campus security and the medical services did. I whispered in the ear of the porter you'd injured. You could probably finish her off right now if you wanted to.
Oh, well, then fuck you. But thanks for taking care of me.
Yes, miss. Of course, miss. Sophie. In the woods. A little before this, probably. Sophie and Elutella are crouching. Now both of you have been overcome by waves of either exhaustion or crippling terror. I believe in Sophie's case it was the former, and in Elutella's case it was the latter. Was that right?
What were the two options?
One of you was scared and one of you was exhausted. And I don't remember which one was which.
I think I was the one who was scared.
You were scared, and Elutella was just like, out of it. So,
Oh, that's right.
So Lauren, if you'll switch to your Elutella sheet, which now is in this system, and Elutella actually has a bit of power, so she might be able to get out of this. Also, Elutella, a thing we didn't mention last time, technically does have, if you look under your possessions, there is something that you have. So that's a thing. But at this point, as Sophie and Elutella, you have cleared what mists are behind you with a beating of your wings, but you see there is a hulking thing coming up behind you.
And is this a thing that I recognize?
Give me a look roll.
Oh, is my look super high?
Your look, it's interesting. Elutella's look was not super high. It's like a wider, it's like you require less success because you have a much wider field of view. What's that, Sophie?
Am I also looking?
Oh yeah, you can also sort of look back. Both of you.
No matches.
No matches. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Sophie. You can sort of glance back.
I do not advise that we approach this being.
No matches.
No matches. There is something. And both of you are coming out of your sort of moment of feeling completely exhausted, completely out of it, but even with your unsuccessful, it kind of whatever hulking form you've seen, it kind of like you're worried that it might be strafing you. You're worried that it's going around you, but it doesn't. You don't think it's gone off. You think it could still be nearby. Is there anything you'd like to do in this moment?
Can we hide? Are we hiding? I do not wish to be seen.
You could definitely try a sneak roll. Absolutely, you could both do that.
Sneaking is good here. Sneak.
Could try a little sneak. It is under your coordination.
Sneak. Yes. I will attempt to sneak. Nothing is good.
No match.
Good.
Cool. You have what is so
No match.
No match. So basically, the two of you kind of like try to sneak, and it's almost comical how, like, Sophie, you just step directly on like a loud twig that snaps.
Merde.
You step on a twig that snaps louder than a bag of sun chips being opened.
Oh.
And Medina, as you
Elutella,
sorry. That one's not my fault because that's the name right there. As you begin to like perhaps even like stealthily try to like fly a little bit, your wings go up and like batter a couple of like your wings hit some like falling leaves that cause like and just the sound is utterly clear. So you know that something knows where you both are, and that is when you hear this inhuman, monstrous, and this thing leaps through what remains of the mists, all teeth and claws and fur and horns, something a little larger than a bear, springing forward. Can you can do whatever you'd like. This is kind of like a weird like fight sequence situation. Dodging means you would try to just get out of the way of it. Moving means you'd be running, but kind of that means, you know, if it's faster than you, it could kind of catch you. It's you're just running along a trajectory. Or you could try to fight somehow.
I would like to move by jumping up.
You want to move upwards. You want to fly up. Understood.
Yes.
All right. And you're just escaping. So a move means you're escaping. A move means you're just trying to get out of there. Okay.
Yes.
Understood. Sophie, what would you like to do?
I would like to. Yes, I would like to dodge.
Dodge? All right, cool. You can make a dodge roll. You're going to roll your 3 SD. Elutella, please make your move.
2 5s.
2 5s. Okay. Sophie?
8s.
2 8s. Unfortunately, a dodge against this creature, two 8s. You know, 8s it's knowledge, it's secrets, it's consideration. That's it's kind of not so much the space of it. There and since you already are in pretty bad shape, I will roll the damage. But I guess I could roll 2 1s, or I could roll a 1 and a 2, and you would still technically be. That is not what I roll.
No.
I roll 6 total. So basically, Elutella, you begin to fly upwards. You kind of begin to like move up, and you actually. This is a big thing. I'm just gonna be a dick about this. You actually do take 2 points of like harm, so you'll have to use 2 power to avoid that. As like a claw, you have to kind of like push yourself to avoid it. It's like 1 claw that's raking up, kind of goes through your space, but you manage to avoid it by spending that power. But then you see this thing below falling on that girl you'd been crouching with, and Sophie.
Okay, Blue.
It's like in a movie when the werewolf jumps on the helpless student. If there is any line you'd like to deliver to make this a truly cinematic moment, if there is any statement you'd like to make in this final moment for the film critic Sophie Pellicule.
Just let out a string of the French curse words and perhaps say, I do not know this bear. Can I yell, who, Jackie?
Sure. And I'll tell you what, why don't you, that's a fun idea. Give me I'll let you go out with a certain, give me a detect vibe plus classic films. So 7.
Oui.
Yeah. She may be dying, but she'll really understand the cinematic context of this.
2 7s.
2 7s. Okay, patterns and repetition. Sure, that's a thing. The tone of this is definitely the way you're being attacked. This is more like Lon Chaney, the Wolfman, less American Werewolf in London. This is kind of like despite how like horrible and huge this is, you know that with the way the mists are still present, this is not going to be a like blood gushing scene. Like the kill will be somewhat obscured for viewers. So this is a little more classic Hollywood.
Classy. Can I flip off the werewolf?
You can.
Okay.
Yes, okay, now you're making an American Werewolf in London then, yeah. Now you're subverting the tropes, that's fine.
Yes, that no one can see, so it's fine.
But so basically as you sort of do this and then Sophie, you feel just this horrific pain as these massive jaws close upon you, as this Tobaccotin beast just devours you. Elutella, you are flying upwards, but you hear a bunch of French curse words and then nothing.
Oh dear.
Now we're at an interesting point here. Poor Sophie Pellicule. But we'll be getting to another thing shortly, don't you worry. So Elutella, what does Elutella do in this moment?
She will see if there are any sources of light, and she will fly directly toward the light.
She's a moth.
As a moth does. It seems very apropos.
I love that so much. She would fly to the nearest source of light, is that correct?
Sure, let's go for it.
Make a luck roll. And if this fails, we'll just make a luck roll.
2 1s.
Okay, 2 1s. And that's structure and sort of like mechanics, so like your sort of eyes are falling.
My many eyes.
Unfortunately for the singularity of vision of what's going on here, the closest light source that Elutella will see, because Sophie had run back when Mr. Unzipper showed up, and that's where she sort of bumped into Elutella. Elutella is actually flying back to Main Street Paradise.
Well,
drawn by the flashy lights of that as like the mists recede. So we may revisit Elutella here. We certainly will. Elutella is a living character, but at this point, we're going to keep our focus on the Oakshear side of things. Felix, you make it to the gates where you see there's a lot of blood on the ground. The portcullis is open. You see some like a couple of the porters in their sort of like old-fashioned hats. Although they're holding like cudgels, some of them, they look like pretty like intense. And as you and the voluptuous bikini team dancer are kind of like walking up, they kind of look at her and they have a weird thing. And one of them steps forward and says, I need to see your student identification.
Yeah, my brother, he's died.
Oh no, student has died? Oh.
He's died in the woods in the mist.
Oh. I suppose we should collect his remains. They typically don't like to have our students' remains end up on the black market. Oh, curses. But at this point, you hear a voice saying, No, let him through, let him through. That is a pupil of mine, and his guest. And somebody says, I was about to ask about the naked young lady here with him. Or half naked. She's got some clothes on, just covering the bits. Nothing else. Just the bits is covered. You can see everything. And you probably can guess what they look like under it. And she's a right sweaty too, even though it's raining. He says, Thank you, Gottfried. So he'll sort of kind of come out and say, Yes, please, Mr. Ducat, where is Miss Pellicule? Where is your brother? Oh dear, you're grievously. You've been flayed. We need I call the medics again. We'll have another guest for the infirmary.
All I have are his shoes.
Oh.
He's gone.
Godfrey's like, right, he was already going out there to find his brother what got slain. And we know you don't like those bodies on the black market. Yes, gather them, of course. Come. And he sort of gestures you in, and he nods and says, I assume, he begins to saying to the dancer, like, I assume you were instrumental in rescuing him. She's like, I was. Couldn't save his brother. Couldn't save them both. Couldn't save them both. And, so he's like, well, I appreciate everything you have done. And, Felix, you are sort of taken to some kind of conveyance is soon brought for you. And at this point, we're going to take a few hours. Medina and Felix are being treated. So, and I apologize to sort of jump right into this without a warning, and I know you sort of came here under crazy pretenses, but I see we have a new character here. We're going to sort of cut to the next day, basically. This was still, midday. Medina, go ahead.
Do any conditions get cleared?
I'll talk to you about that later. It's not a thing you got to worry about.
Don't be mean to me.
Right now, just worry about your recovery, okay? Just focus on your recovery. Focus on the way Wednesday's just standing in there. And at times, you'll just hear her going, the head bone's connected to the neck bone. The neck bone's connected to the shoulder bone. And Felix, all you hear is the silence of your missing brother. Meaner way to say it than I had to. You also occasionally hear, occasionally in your sort of like going in and out. You guys are now being drugged and sort of patched up more intensely. But you occasionally do hear something where it sounds like somebody wants someone to pour some sugar on them. You're not really sure what the idea is, but we're going to cut to the next day, where a different student here from Darkmoor College. Yes?
I just remembered that we have someone who's an NPC with this name, so it might get confusing.
No. It's OLL.
Okay.
Right. So it's similar but not
Not the same? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's OLL.
Oh,
for her,
yes.
yeah.
Why did I think? Okay.
No,
I
because it's
was like,
close, but yeah. So,
my
but
brain was remembering.
at
Okay.
this point, we're going to open. We're going to cut to a different student, a pre-med, young pre-med co-ed, hashtag pre-ed co-med, pre-med co-ed. Pre-ed, that would be pre-education degree, which still would be a thing.
She just showed up at the college.
Guys, I haven't started my education, but that's what I want to study is how to do my education.
Mhm.
As Penelope Cillian is making her way up to Holdfast Hall, she was summoned by a direct message from one of the porters knocked on her door, creepy guy named Godfrey. She was given a notice to please report to Holdfast Hall at 9 a.m. sharp to see a Professor Charles.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that is, yeah, basically that's where you are.
I'm standing outside his office.
At this point, you're just walking up to this library.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So if you want to take a moment to collect yourself, if you don't necessarily, you certainly feel like it is odd for you to be given a note so early in the morning like this.
What time is it? I don't even.
It's about 9. You're. Well, do you think that is Penelope Penny Cillian is she a punctual person?
I mean, yeah, usually, but I was up late studying.
Understood.
You know,
Well, then
careful.
you're probably groggy. Make a luck roll for Miss Penny.
10.
The nice thing about all of this is that you did manage to get your coffee.
Oh,
So
thank God.
you're up.
Oh.
The porter was like, "Go, come quick," or whatever. You're like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm not without my whatever." So you've had your cup of Joe,
Excellent.
and Joe is the guy here. It's not Mo. But as you're approaching this thing, you sort of look at your watch, or you realize you are here just in time, so you're not going to be late for this rather early demand that you sort of skip a class and show up here at this time. Yeah.
What I would have been summoned for? Like, do I have any clue?
Ooh, I like that. Give me a detective vibe roll.
Okay. Like, do I think I'm in trouble or whatever? Oof,
Yeah.
not great. But
Oh, this is not your. Oh, right. Oh, this is no longer your strong suit.
Different character.
If we want someone who has fine motor skills, this is the person, but not for
Nope, a 6 and a 2.
6 and a 2. Yes, you have no sense. It could be, it could be. I don't what I who knows what Penny Cillian has done. I will say, is it Killian, like Killian Murphy?
Cillian.
Cillian. Okay, so
Cillian.
let's say if she, I'm not gonna say what she's done. I'm gonna say a lot of pre-med students here at Darkmort. Probably Friedrich wasn't doing this, but a lot of pre-med students, there are cadavers. Sometimes people take liberties with the sort of like spare cadavers that they like to carve up. So it could just be that, if Penny ever did stuff with dead bodies, it might be about that, if that makes sense. But you can enter the hall and you see there is sort of like a reception desk. And by did stuff, there's a lot of stuff one could do. It could be like...
Listen, my roommate weirdly abducted a bunch of female cadavers in order to check their clitorises, but I did not participate in that situation.
To check their clitoris.
Does no one know about the Twitter stuff? Come on.
I don't know about that, but yikes.
It's a real story.
That's... then there is no further horror I can provide this night. So as you head up, the doors open, or the doors open because you open them. there is an odd energy in this room, but since your detect vibe was so low, you might not really sense it. But there is a sort of there's a librarian there. He kind of has a mustache. His name is Joe, and he's sort of are you Miss Cillian?
Would I know Joe from studying here, or do I go to
this is not a medical library, so you probably never would have ventured here.
Not my library.
Not your library, no.
Yes, I was summoned. Do I know Professor Charles? Do I know what he teaches?
Professor Charles is in the Arcana department, so you probably
So I would never interact with him.
Crossed him before. But he's yes, no, you're expected. You're supposed to at this point, Penny, you hear a thud from a closed door and an odd scratching sound inside of it, and then you hear. Actually, make a listen roll, Penny.
Okay.
Your look is pretty good, but your listen. I mean, like your vitality overall is fine, and you have a little boost to look. Your listen is not as high, but let's see.
Can my listen go higher if I have a stethoscope and I listen to something using a stethoscope?
That is interesting, but that would one, that's a thing you'd have to like pull out and visibly do.
Yeah, I know, just in general in the future.
If yes.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know that a pre-med student is wearing one around the neck. You can certainly have access to one in a bag.
Okay.
But in this case, I think this is more a what you're overhearing. So,
How else will anyone know she's pre-med though?
Yeah, if I don't have one on.
That's true. Well, she has pre-med nail polish. It's the code one.
I got a 3, 4, and a 5. So
if you'd like to spend 1 power, you could re-roll those.
I'm good.
Understood. So you hear some muffled voices. You're not sure what's happening in there. But he directs you to a room across from that way, very aggressively. This way, Miss Cillian.
Is everyone okay? It sounded there was just like a loud noise.
It's a work study hall in this way, and he sort of hustles you into a different room. There is a couch in this room. You have the sense that maybe someone slept on it last night, because this is the first room that you guys met Professor Charles and Medina. This is the room you woke up in, kind of one of those like smaller reading rooms off to the side. You sit in here for a moment, Penny. This definitely is not your kind of library. You also can tell that though there are books in here, this is not like there was a room further back that's going to be more stacks, like what is the picture behind all of you right now. This is kind of more just like a weird like gathering place. The books here are coffee table books, kind of like you think they might occasionally hold little like, drink nights in here kind of place. It's a weird structure. It's a
like a staff room or something?
Almost like a staff room, or like you might bring like trustees here. This is one of the older buildings on campus, so it's not as functional anymore. It's kind of it serves administrative purposes and also contains certain rare books. In any event, the door opens shortly thereafter, and Professor Charles walks in. He's kind of a man in his 50s. He says, Miss Cillian, is it?
Yes.
Wonderful. My name is Professor Charles. Please have a seat. Can I get you anything? Coffee? Danish?
Coffee's always good.
Croissant?
Yes.
Coffee, yes. Joe, can we get some coffee? And Joe's
Not
like,
big.
I'm not but the door closes as Joe's saying he doesn't do that. The professor says, Miss Cillian, I will get right to the point. I'm sure you feel very busy. Our department has suffered a setback last night. I don't know if you heard the rumors, but 2 students from campus were killed when they ventured over to the town of Paradise, and 2 other students were grievously injured and are still recuperating, but I've been told that their surgeries went rather well here at our infirmary.
That's tragic, but I'm not sure what it has to do with me.
Well, as it happens, it was the entirety of a special department, a special course of study I've been putting together. None of the students were part of my department, but something has been happening that's under the auspices. I am under the impression that though you are a pre-med student, you did take the MSAT exam. Probably was perfunctory for your school, and you seem to have very high scores in the MSATs, the magical standardized tests. Yeah, it's the magical SATs. So he says, so your scores seemed decently high, but they were particularly high on certain clusters of perception and conjuration. Did anyone ever talk to you about this, or were you always pretty dedicated to the medical arts?
Is that up to me, or would someone have talked to me about it?
Up to you.
I mean, I knew I did well, but it didn't seem to have much relevance to my interests.
Of course. Well, I'm going to ask you, for the good of the university, to assist us in a certain matter, as the pool of students who have the aptitude to do what we're doing is rather low. I have already talked to the dean of the medical college, and he's assured me that if I scratch his back, he'll scratch yours, as it were. And if you do this, you will have a great deal of, shall we say, leeway in any future exams you need to sit, and a guaranteed placement in a hospital of your choice upon graduation.
Well, I don't want any special favors on my exams. That's how I need to be held accountable. Otherwise, that's how someone gets hurt.
Yes, but, and I'm telling you, forget the exam part, then I'm sure you won't need it, but you know what a leg up in terms of placements, programs, medical schools, teaching hospitals. Believe me, this is a favor you want. And all you have to do is a bit of light reading.
Reading what? This sounds a bit too good to be true. Sorry. Are you sure this isn't some sort of, like, secret ethics exam?
Well, I am sure it is not, yes, because it's not. But I need to... There is also a possibility that you will not be able to summon characters in the fashion that we need. That is right, we are summoning characters from works of literature. It is a very delicate art, and done in the manner we're doing, a rather profoundly powerful form of magic. Something the provost himself is deeply interested in. Will you help us?
I suppose. What do I have to read?
Whatever strikes your fancy. There are new books showing up in this library all the time. Believe me, the librarian out there, Joe Hook, is very upset about it. It's hard for him to keep track of all the new novels and short story collections and films, albums that suddenly appear on our shelves. Please just walk the stacks. Find anything that piques your interest. And just read here. And he kind of gets very serious. Like, he doesn't slam anything down, but there's a real, like, in Holdfast Hall. Do your reading here.
Okay.
The rest
sure.
will become apparent as it goes. Also, for the time being, make sure you don't wander unescorted.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Cillian. I very much hope you'll be able to help us, and I want you to know, even for trying, you'll be getting good favors from us. Yes, thank you. Here's your coffee, and kind of he hands you a coffee as well. Please see what sparks your interest. I am available. Joe can give you the number. I am located in one of the other administrative buildings, but I'm here frequently. I will answer any questions about this literature you ever have. And I have told the literature department to be on call as well to answer any questions. And Joe is a resource as well. And Joe's like, yeah, apparently I'm a resource. Thank you, Vasilian. You're much appreciated.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
With that, he heads out. Joe kind of looks at you and says, welcome to Holdfast. Do you want to go into the stacks?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Come
right?
along. And he sort of, opens the door and leaves, and you once again hear like shaking from the door behind there, and then some voices and someone going, "No, I don't get honey, I'm gonna freak the fuck out." But he says, don't worry about that, and just kind of begins guiding you towards the stacks. Meanwhile, Medina and Felix, my friends, I'm gonna do something virtuous here. Would you both roll a luck roll? But we'll use the higher between the two of you, especially if it's a 13.
11.
12.
Ooh.
Well, first of all, that just means like I'm not even stretching the rules. You both, the surgery does very well, and by around. Oh yeah, no, damn, because it was midday when this was happening. By like 10 p.m. the preceding night. Actually, Medina, you had 2 conditions, so yours is going to be a little further. Given the time here, Felix, you have no conditions, and though you are injured, and basically like you don't have the conditions, but like you have injuries, so like new injuries might pop up worse. Felix, you have 10 power.
Wow.
After a real night's sleep. Medina, you have 7.
Oh, are my conditions cleared?
Your conditions are also cleared.
I'll take it. But not for long, probably.
So, I know Felix, and I know you have a backup character, and you can always switch to that whenever you want to, Felix, if you want to, but you did make it back.
Too painful.
Yeah. If I should kind of saying this too, like, I want to give you the creative out to, if you think Felix would not want to participate in this anymore, you are certainly welcome to have him stop, etc. But as
Kind
of
of depends what happens.
perfect. So he'll come along and see how it plays out. I love it. So basically, the next morning, the two of you are discharged from the infirmary. Wednesday and the Voluptuous Bikini Team Dancer are not present. They returned to Holdfast Hall, but Professor Charles is here. He's kind of walking up and saying, it's glad you're both back on your feet. I'm glad that these sort of magical enhancements at our infirmary can heal people with a little more rapidity that you might find for the hoi polloi out there. I would like to urge both of you to be much more careful about venturing off campus, especially without a more robust escort. As far as I'm concerned, the only reason you're still alive is because you brought 2 characters. 4 of you ventured out with only 2 characters, and only 2 of you remained. This could be instructive, strategically.
Is there anything you can do for my brother?
Your brother's body and that, sadly, of Miss Pellicule were both recovered. There was very little left of our film student. I am rather upset. She was likely to be a source of great character mining once she got into watching the films.
What do you mean by character mining?
We are trying to gather characters.
But to what end?
Dread, Mr. Ducat.
You say these things and I am a deep thinker, but I don't understand.
Mr. Ducat, knowledge is power. Dread is power. Ergo, dread is knowledge.
You're very narcissistic.
Not at all. I don't even own a mirror. That's not true. I do own one. I never look at it, though.
My twin brother's dead.
I'm aware.
Because of you.
No, your twin brother's dead because he was flayed alive by some monster after you all, rather inadvisably, left the security of this campus.
Felix tries to punch him in the face.
Make make an unarmed attack with your
Like,
unarmed combat
Like
with
that,
your
just like
with your
that.
physicality.
Oh, actually, I'm wanting to use.
You're like, I'm gonna throw some precious
Yeah, I
power
forgot.
on this.
Yeah, I forgot. I realized
Please.
I have some. So what is
Please.
the rule?
You can spend 2 to get an extra die,
Okay.
or you can spend 5 to change one after the fact, or both.
I'm gonna spend 5 right now, and
Oh.
I'm going to just change one.
So you made your roll.
I made my roll already.
You're gonna change one after the fact. Love it. Okay.
Yeah. And I will change it to. I'm actually gonna change it to music.
All right. So you're giving him a little. I think in old-fashioned things sometimes they call it the chin music, right? They talk about boxing.
Yeah.
Give him a
Sweet
little
chin music.
The sweet chin music. So yeah, you pull it back, and he was not ready for it, and you punch him, and he
You're a complete asshole.
he backs up, and it's like there's like blood coming out of like the nose, and he backs up and says, in all my years of teaching, I've never been struck by a student before.
well, you've not given many students this assignment, I'm assuming.
You hit me. He's picking up like a towel and I can't believe I can't believe this. And he just walks out.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do now.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, it's terrible out there, it's terrible in here, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
What do you make of all this? Why is this happening to us? It's just. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It doesn't. I don't know, Felix. You do what you can to protect yourself. That's all we can do.
I have to
I
go.
wouldn't blame. Huh?
I have to go.
I understand.
Fuck that guy. And Felix just leaves.
Perfect.
Can't. Is the camera still on Medina,
Sure.
so to speak? Would I be able to contact the provost on a phone nearby? Like, do I have his contact information, or would I?
You do not. You could
Can
call.
I find Joe?
You can probably get through to Joe pretty easily. Sure.
Okay, I will find a phone and call Joe.
Understood. I'll roll this one. I rolled a 13, which sucks because it doesn't do anything.
How's that feel, baby?
It feels bad. You know what it feels like? It feels like if I were to describe my feeling as like a 3-dimensional shape and a color. The color would be blue. The shape would be. Never mind. The point is, she got there eventually. The shape would be a torus. It's a donut. Blue donuts, baby. So, Medina, you pick up the
Yes.
phone. You call Joe. It rings a few times. But then you hear, receiver click. And there is something about all the phones here. It's like these are like analog phones. It has that it's much more present in the ear, and it's kind of more like click, click, like you hear more clicks and clanks and things. But hold fast, Hall. Joe Hook speaking.
Hi, Joe. It's Medina.
Oh, hello. Are you alive? I mean, I guess you're alive. It's a dumb question.
I mean, hard to say around here.
What about the one of the brothers lived, right?
Yeah,
That's good.
the one with the hair.
They're
That was a
twins.
joke.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I was wondering if you could connect me to the provost.
No, I can't get a hold of the provost.
Okay,
No one
how does he contact you guys?
I've never spoken to the provost. You can put in a request to have the provost contact you, but I mean, I haven't really heard of anyone being contacted by him like ever.
Okay, can I put in a request?
Sure, just go to the registrar's office.
I'd rather not leave the library.
Okay, well, do you want to come to the library?
Oh, I'm in the...
You're in the infirmary.
Where is the registrar's office?
Between the infirmary and the... Yeah, sure.
We're gonna backtrack a little bit because I forgot where I was.
No, but she would have. That's fine. He's like, why don't you go on your way back here?
Yeah, I will do that.
Great.
Thank you, Joe. I will see you later. Is it a written request, or do I just go and talk to someone?
Pretty sure it's written.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, so we'll cut away from there. So once again, I've done my favorite thing, which is everyone is doing something separate.
I'm trying to make my way back to the library.
You're doing it's this is what's happening in the story. It's fine. I just apologies because we're in a situation where two people are just like, and time to check the old Twitter feed, or the old Gram. But at this point, I actually. Zane, would you like to introduce someone else right now, or would you rather we save that for another time?
I could do either.
That's the least helpful thing you could have said.
What he's... Let me translate. He will introduce the character as long as it doesn't lead to an extensive thing.
There's no guarantee of that. All right. So, in that case, all three of you
was that pretty accurate?
All three of you just make a luck roll.
Oh gosh.
Oh, baby!
No. Did you roll a 13?
Yeah, baby.
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
9.
Great. Felix, can you please roll your D13 again?
Don't do this to me.
9.
9? Okay. Okay, so with the 13 doing that, so we did have 1, so yay for the count going up. 1, that is 1 from Sir Zane. We will be going to, then if you would please, we're going to cut to the stables of Darkmoor College. Starkmoor College keeps several horses. There are a lot of carriages that move around, and occasionally when someone needs to go into town at the Ignador Gate, it is customary to go by a horse. We're going to sort of begin on a groom over there at the stables. Would you like to describe who we see and how he's maybe caring for the horses at this time?
Hey, y'all. My name's Everett Plantain. And I've been working here at Darkmoor College for probably about as long as I can remember. I take care of every single one of these damn mares, the stallions, the geldings, every single one of them. I feed them, I give them alfalfa, I give them hay. I don't really care much about how I look. Usually I have like a dirty bandana tied over my head. And the shirt that I wear is generally from some type of free event. And I got my good old Wranglers that I keep on. I got 2 pairs, one for the weekends, one for the weekdays. And I got these shit kickers, kicking all the shit and the horse apples all over the place. Everett Plantain, at your service.
So that happened. So as Everett, you are dealing with, you know what? We don't need to get into the specifics of if you're dealing with a mare, a stallion, or a gelding at this moment. Could be a filly, honestly.
Absolutely.
But Everett, you actually hear, as you're sort of going about your routine, brushing the horses, making sure they're fed, you hear someone cursing aggressively, kind of like outside the stables, very angry. The damn indignity of that! I cannot believe this is.
Hey there, having a bad day?
What?
Having a bad day? You're saying a lot of swear words around my goddamn horses.
A man appears like at the end of the stables, kind of silhouetted as the light comes in. It's sort of darker in here. He takes a few steps in. He's dressed very nicely. He's a man in his 50s. He's one of the professors at school. And says, "What?
You're saying all these goddamn swear words around my goddamn horses.
You
think your day's gonna get any better saying all these bad words?"
You notice this man has like a fat lip and his nose is kind of bloodied.
Oh, look at you there. I'm so sorry. You looks like you've been mortally wounded there.
I was not mortally wounded, but I was struck by a student.
Oh, that's a terrible thing. That happens to me at least once a week. And he takes off his bandana and tries to
Thank you. No,
So just tell me what happened. Let it out. You need to cry, it's fine.
One of my students is quite upset for reasons that I can understand. His brother just died, but his brother died because of his recklessness. Him and his classmates.
Well, sounds like an old-fashioned case of displacement.
Oh, yes.
He can't bear to look at the fact that maybe he killed his own brother.
Oh, you mean psychologically speaking?
Oh, absolutely.
It's interesting. I was thinking of the sort of, the magical displacement theory of you can, sort of change the volume of the ocean by displacing them. But you got me where I was going. That's fine. What is your name, stableman?
Everett Plantain, at your service. Stableman, apparently. I take care of these goddamn horses over here.
Right. What is your, you don't like stableman? What term do you typically use?
You can call me whatever you want to call me, darling. I really do not care. But I take care of the horses. Call me a cowboy, whatever. Stableman, groom,
The horses. Yeah. You're almost like an ostler, aren't you?
I like that word. Yeah, ostler. That's a good one.
Yeah, you are an ostler. Yes. Do you read, Mr. Plantain? I don't mean can you read. Obviously, you can read. I'm asking, do you? Are you someone who do you enjoy novels, books, articles?
I do love fantasy, romance novels.
Do you? Yes. I have need of a man with your expertise. Yes, would you please, there are other stablemen here, or other grooms or whatever, who can take care of the stables for an hour or two, isn't it? That must be the case, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Can you please come with me to the library, Mr. Plantain?
Yeah. Hey, Julio, make sure to give Harley her alfalfa, if she's a good girl. Yeah, we're good.
Wonderful. Yes. Come, please, thank you. And he sort of, he just turns on his heel and begins marching over to the library. Penny.
Yes.
I'm gonna just end on a few little vignettes here, and then maybe we'll have a moment with you all together. Or maybe not. Penny, you're in the stacks.
Mm-hmm.
Joe is kind of keeping an eye on you. You notice he got a phone call, but he was always looking at you the whole time. There's a lot of books in here. There's two ways we can do this. One is you can start telling me some things that Penny might be drawn to, some genres, some stuff like that, and we'll sort of find something logical that perhaps you would have found. The other option is, if you want to leave it to chance and feel that maybe Penny, just a title or a cover for whatever reason, that magical way of book is just like, ooh, what's this? That's the one you pull up. You can roll a d13. We can just see whence the work comes.
I mean, I think Penny would be drawn to some science fiction novels and historical fiction.
Interesting.
Genres that she's interested in. But, definitely some sci-fi type stuff.
Sci-fi. Let's go with sci-fi or historical fiction. I actually like that. Roll a luck roll. Here's how it'll be. Roll. Aha, I got it. But a 13 will be something else, and a great. Go for it.
What if I was like, Penny just wants to read the Bible?
Say that, please.
No.
There's something she'll be drawn to. Did you roll a 13?
Yes.
Because you're a patriot?
God damn it. This is Dan's fault. He's not here. He's the one who's supposed to roll a 13.
Basically. Do me a favor and roll again. And don't roll another 13, or this will be a real quick venture for old Penicillian.
Okay.
Penicillian just wasn't potent enough against these modern...
Nope. 11.
No horror surge, but our sweet, sweet clock.
Hey, do you remember when Elatella did a really mothy thing and slipped toward the light? Can we bank that?
No, that wasn't really the genre we were going for at the time. We could have gone back, but some film student wanted to get all postmodern. She wanted to be all Tarantino about it, so
That's fine.
A 13 you roll, so that means
I don't like the sound of that.
roll the d13 one more time.
No! Well, okay. But it won't make a horror surge if I roll a 13 again.
No.
Now.
I mean, you'd have to then roll again, but yeah.
7.
Interesting. Oh, yes. Yes,
I
yes.
don't like it that we
Yes,
don't hear
yes.
his thoughts as he has these reactions.
Yes. You... Your eye is drawn to something that seems very sci-fi. A book. And Penny... Actually, give me a look roll as you do this.
The look is... It's not bad. It's not great. It's
Yeah.
not bad.
The Penicillian is a very character. You have a lot more things that are less high. You have a lot of things where you just get like the one boost rather than
Yeah. Nothing.
You don't notice, but the camera does. If Sophie were displaying the cinematic technique, it would be that sort of dramatic irony. You don't notice that you're like looking through shelves, like you don't see anything, but then something seems to like be in your eye, and you look back, and it's like, oh, I must have been looking at this book. That's why I looked back, but it wasn't there before. But you see a tome, a thin book, not really a tome, on the side. It says, "The Timber Out of Space," but it is Timbre, implying the quality of sound. The Timber Out of Space.
Okay.
And you are drawn to this book.
Okay. guess. Who's the guy that's with me? What's your name?
Joe Hook.
Oh,
Joe, yeah.
right.
Librarian.
So am I supposed to just read this book now? Do I have to
You
wait?
were told to just find a book that intrigued you, and you could read that book.
Okay. Are there any chairs that look comfortable? Just sit down.
Absolutely. So you'll take the book.
Yeah.
So
sure.
you pull the book off. The cover of it has, and it kind of, if you're like, okay, well, sci-fi. It's a very old-fashioned. It feels like sci-fi that was like written in like the 20s or 30s. It's like older sci-fi, but there's this very bizarre, like alien-looking thing on the cover, and you see something down at the bottom that looks like a lighthouse. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I liked Annihilation. I guess this looks interesting.
So, as you sort of move to read, Joe sort of says, "Oh, Miss Cillian,
Yes.
we should probably have you read in the room where you sat with the professor. Actually, it'll be safer in there.
I mean, safer.
More comfortable. This way."
Okay. Sure. I guess.
All right. Medina. You make your way. You're like very injured.
Yeah.
You know, but you make your way to the registrar's office. We actually don't have to do a whole thing. You simply want to leave a note. Like there is a secretary who, if you say you have a message for the provost, she'll just say, "Oh, all right."
Yeah.
Who can I say the message is from?
Medina Lake.
Oh. We had a, Oh. I thought you were... She pulls out some Forbes and, like, starts taking, like, staples off of stuff and says, yeah, we needed to, go over there. We need to take your picture. We had a rush order for your student ID.
Right. Okay.
Over there?
Okay. I'll walk.
You're standing.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see who's taking the picture?
It's this lady. She's standing up. It's like one of those like cameras that's mounted. There's like a little thing hanging down. She's just gonna hit a button on like a little, those. It's like the passport office thing. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. Oh no. Okay. I'll sit down.
Okay. She snaps your photo. And then as they begin to like, put that on stuff or whatever, she says, so wait, you want to send a message to the provost?
Yeah.
All right, honey, what if you want to, sure. What does it say?
I just need to have a meeting or a call.
Okay. She writes it down.
It's urgent. It has to do with what I was assigned to study.
She thinks about this and looks up at you and says, oh, what were you assigned to study?
Just a special assignment.
Okay. She hands you an ID.
Thanks. And I will put it safely in my...
Do you look at it?
Yeah.
It's interesting in this photo, just like in the photos of all the students here at school. You look scared. So, as Medina, Everett make their way back to the library, and Penny Cillian is there, already studying. Perhaps Professor Charles is still going to try to find others. I think that's actually where we are going to end it tonight. I know it is a short one, but when we're short-handed and other reasons, that is what we're going to do. So thank you for this quick bite. we opened with a death, so that was sad. I will miss Sophie.
R.I.P.
Sophie was a quick bite.
Sophie was a Quibi. She was a full-on Quibi, and now she's been canceled like Quibi.
Oh no.
Remember how somebody thought Quibi was something that could happen?
Oh boy. Quibi.
All right. Well, speaking of the opposite of Quibi, if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, where our bites are anything but quick.
We've lasted longer than Quibi.
That's true. That's not impressive.
Well,
Like
still.
there were like babies who've lasted longer than Quibi.
Well, we can say it.
That's fair. So yeah, please follow our channel if you can. Also subscribe if you're able, and you do have a free subscription if you're an Amazon Prime member. So you can link that on to your Amazon Prime account. You have to do that every month, but use it for us, use it for somebody because it's free and cool. We probably have some people to thank, or maybe we don't.
We have Barstool Bombardier followed this evening, and Downtown Julie, not to be mistaken with Downtown Julie Brown, resubscribed.
Or it could be, we don't know.
Downtown Julie.
You know what? It could be Downtown.
Either
Julie
way,
Brown.
we love you.
Downtown Leroy, Downtown Julie Brown, Downtown Leroy. Oh man, I like it. Great. Well, thank you so much for subscribing. That's so awesome. We hope you enjoy the silly stuff we do here. Anybody else want to plug stuff?
Book and Dagger says mention transcribing the fleecing schemester.
I actually.
Oh, we also had Chico Fiesta 01 just follow.
Oh,
Yay!
welcome. And Book and Dagger, I got you. You guys are so close. Yes, Lauren.
I stream on my channel, the same one as is saying hello in the chat. I did actually stream this Thursday, like I said I would, and it was fun.
Wonderful. What did you play?
I played I'm on, what is it called? I'm on observation duty.
Great.
It was fun.
What I played was.
It's mostly because my camera is right in front of it, but it's mostly just me talking, and absurdity ensues.
As it would.
Join me.
Wonderful. Let's see. We also have Zane, if you want to plug some things.
If you like tiny trees, I'll teach you how to keep them tiny at Zane's Trees on all the platforms.
Wonderful. And then Liv, do you want to zoom a bit?
Everyone here already knows my shtick, and I don't have anything new.
Okay,
There might
but
be
It's a
one
big
new
shtick.
person here.
Everybody
We
watched
saw it,
Picard
though.
season
We saw it.
3.
We finally watched
is,
it.
like,
Okay.
Liv is in Star Trek, y'all, and it's not like you have to look for her in the background, like constantly. Like honestly, I had no idea. You will see her, so watch it. We
It's
finally
very-
finished it, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we can talk after this.
Yeah,
finally.
You're obviously me when you see me the first time. Yeah, please, if you haven't watched it, go stream it again, leave it on, like just turn it on and let it stream on loop, because man, we need Kurtzman to spend those dollars to make the spinoff so I can come back and maybe do more. So
I would relate that without saying anything, I would say that spin-off would be really cool. I'd like to watch that show.
I would
Well, thanks everyone. So other games we have on this channel. We have a game on Sunday. It's called Here Be Dragons. It's about some dragons.
And sometimes other Sundays.
And then on other alternating Sundays, it's a game called Mystic Starport that is a Star Wars game. But this week, it's the dragons. On Monday, we have a game called Lost Lore Academia. This is our interactive... this is our sort of interactive... how do you call it? Like dark academia metagame where we're talking about other things happening in these, like you gather characters from other games. It's a fun thing. But to that point, it was called out to me in chat earlier, apparently. But I was already going to do it. I promise. If anyone here participates in that downtime or would like to start doing so, we are very, very close to them getting 13 instances of Transcribe the Fleecing Schemester, which will give them a huge bonus. You can probably guess what kind of modifier said bonus would be.
What do they have to do to participate if they're not already a part of it?
You go to the Discord, you join, you can ask, you request to me, Long Lost Lore, to be a part of that. If you're already a part of it, go for it. Otherwise, I can let you into it. But yeah, basically, it's a means of participating in that crazy activity. So yeah, we just need 3 more for today, and they will be able, or 2 more for today. I think you just did it, Lauren.
I did.
So yeah, so please join us, and that's the game on Monday, and we did a huge retcon. Also, Lauren, I don't know if you know, that's why your student ID didn't work.
Y'all, stop! Don't mess with my timeline more than it already is.
You were erased. You were erased in that game. You were never there. But they retconned. Yeah. So that happened, and then on Tuesday, join us for Gray in the Dark, our noir game that's back, and then 1 week from tonight, on May 5th, we will be back with. May 5th is a week from tonight, right? Yeah, we'll be back with this game, and we will sort of see how these students continue trying to gather characters.
On Revenge of the.
Are we going to talk? Are we going to say? Are we going to say or no?
Say what?
We can say Nick about.
Oh.
We don't have to.
Which thing are you talking about? Message me privately. One of the things I'll happily talk about. The other I'm not sure about, so I don't want to say.
Things are afoot.
I'll announce the other one for sure.
On Wiki.
Yeah, I'll do that for sure.
Oh.
That's fine. I wasn't sure about the thing that would happen.
I don't even know what the other one is.
It would happen on the day before May 5th.
Oh.
But I'm just not sure if that'll be, because that's going to be a busy week. So, I will announce, because on this past Wednesday, we did another Top Flight game. We had our Top Flight West special. It was a lot of fun. But there's going to be some changes in Top Flight. And one of those things is that on the alternating Wednesdays when there's not, because we're going to try to do Top Flight every month, we have a new Top Flight spin-off series. It's going to be starting a week from Wednesday on May 10th. Am I right about the dates there? I'm pretty sure that's May 10th.
Yeah.
On May 10th, there is a new series, a spin-off of Top Flight West, titled Formation Nation. And I think you guys are going to enjoy it. If you like Lauren, you'll find it tolerable.
We're gonna get one viewer, and that's gonna be Zane, but he's not gonna be at his computer.
Yeah, he'll just be doing it because he has to. Yeah. So join us for Formation Nation. This is gonna be a very different kind of game. I'm very excited about it. A sort of an interesting kind of a different take on things. So yeah, please join us for that. I'll be promoting that as time goes on as well. So yeah, that'll be fun. Well, thank you guys so much for playing. This was great. I really appreciate all of you. I hope that you enjoyed this Quibi of a session, and everyone was in separate places. But then
Stop trying to make Quibi happen.
They already failed to make Quibi happen.
It's true.
The geniuses at Quibi already did that for me. But everyone was sort of separated tonight. But next time we'll all be together again and
reassemble. We'll see.
Assemble, and it'll be great. Maybe some other students will show up, and yeah. So thank you so much, guys. This was awesome. I appreciate all of you. Thank you everybody for watching. Until next time, have a dreadful night.
Bye.
Ooh.